So Gus Johnson, you are a African American male from Milwaukee, born in 1967. Who used to do sports commentary for the Buckeyes. Is that what it was?
That's correct. Yeah, I still work for college football, I believe. I believe I still work there.
That's good. That's good. How's that going?
I think it's going great, as far as I know.
Do you get a lot of people who are fans of that guy?
Well, the thing is, what's funny, every month or so, Gus Johnson is trending on Twitter, but it's the sports commentary guy. So people hit me up and like, just had a heart attack. I thought you were trending on Twitter. But it was really just the commentary guy.
Oh, that's...
It's okay. Someday maybe I'll get trending on Twitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of you, welcome to Super Stop Gap Podcast once again. I'm James McCune. I'm here with Gus Johnson and Mimi Torres, and we're gonna talk for a bit.
Yes.
It's fresh in the afternoon, and none of us have woken up at this point.
It's not afternoon. It's still morning. We got 14 minutes.
Yeah, we're close.
Thank God.
We're getting there. Gus is visiting shortly in LA for a minute, and we're housing the boy, give him some space to breathe over here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But he's up to some secret cool shit that's really exciting, and it's interesting to see like you explode like you have been, and like where you're going down the road and stuff. Like, does that feel like intimidating to you?
I don't know if I've been exploding. The secret thing is I'm trying to get into the street fighting business, but it's really not going well. I don't have the frame for it.
Like,
competing with World Star Hip Hop.
I know.
Yeah. No, you just start your own like channel on World Star Hip Hop specifically.
I should.
Just... Like 30-second videos of you getting beat up in an alleyway.
Picking fights with anyone that wants.
It's just your brother behind the camera like, World Star.
World Star. Have you ever been in a fight, like a physical fight?
I got in a fight in middle school with there's this little that's mean. There was a guy who was a little bit smaller than me. Yeah. I was a big boy. That's why I say that. I was a very wide fella in middle school. And his name was Nathan, and he was a spunky little fuck, and he was like, meet me on the golf course, because we lived on a golf course. He was in the neighborhood across from mine, from the golf course. And I don't remember why we got in the fight. I don't remember a thing. All I remember is like, I don't know what's going to happen here, but we got to the golf course, and he brought a friend. I did not.
Oh,
I did not have friends.
Oh no!
But he had a friend, and he was significantly smaller than me. So what I remember is the third party unceremoniously waving his hand and going, go. And I didn't know what to do. So Nathan ran at me, and my first instinct was to just hold my hand out because I didn't know what to do. No one had ever tried to attack me before.
Yeah.
And I ended up just pushing him, and he fell over like a duffel bag full of phone books.
Ooh.
And I didn't know what to do. So I just straddled him and grabbed his shoulders. And I remember my first thought was, I could hurt him really bad right now. I don't want to hit him, not hurt him. But it was like a fight. So but I didn't want to like punch him in the face. So I just grabbed his shoulders and started like slamming them into the, like really softly, like into the grass. I didn't know what to do, but he started crying. And so I stood up, and I guess I won. I don't remember what happened after that, if we just like turned tail and both walked away from each other really calmly, but like, I think objectively I kind of won.
All right, dude, 1 for 1.
But I didn't know. Neither of us knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a dog chasing a car. Like, once you get to the Buick, you're not gonna do anything. You know.
Yeah.
But we walked away the next day at school. I got there, and because he had an advocate, everyone heard the story that I got my ass beat on the golf course.
Oh damn!
And I had no one to back me up.
Should have brought some press with you there.
I know. I should have had somebody to watch the thing. But that's probably the only like fight that I actually got. That was like a designated, like, this is a fight, we're fighting.
Yeah. Did you say this is a fight we're fighting?
I think so. You had to like clarify, like, let the
goodness.
battle begin. Have you ever gotten anything?
I've never. I always think, like, as crappy as it sounds, part of me is kind of wants to get in a fight at some point in my life.
Yeah.
Just because I've never been in one. But of course, I probably yeah. Thanks for maybe just flicked me in the arm. My first fight.
And let the fight begin.
I like to think that maybe I could do okay, but I'll probably just get my ass beat if if I ever got in a fight, so I better stay off.
No, I think I read on Wikipedia that Gus Johnson's a lover.
I fought 2 people.
Physically?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Mimi
Really?
sounds really tame and innocent, but she's a cold-blooded murderer.
It was in defense of friends,
Really?
but I've punched 2 different people.
Have I heard both of these stories? Or are
I
you
think so.
comfortable
Well,
telling either of them?
One of them was because I'm from the Bay Area, and I went to a concert called, I think it's Not So Silent Night, and I was with a friend who had really bad asthma, and things were, we were like at the front of the stage. You know how it gets like really crowded?
Yeah.
And I think she dropped her glasses, and she went to pick them up, and she was having a hard time breathing, and someone like pushed her down, I think.
What the fuck?
And so then I punched them
Good.
Wow.
and pulled her up and out of the crowd.
That's awesome.
And then another time, I was having a house party in the Mission in San Francisco, and some girl cracked one of my friends over the head with a skateboard.
What the fuck?
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what happened, and it started this fight, and this guy started attacking this girl, and I was like, oh my god, what do I do? So I went up and I punched him in the back of the head.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And then I called my dad the next day, and I was like, Dad, like, I think I broke my knuckles. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, what? He was like, your brother got in a fight last night, and he broke his knuckles. I was like, what have I raised? What have I done as a parent?
Wait, where was it? These are both at concerts?
No. One of them was a party at my house.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Oh, wait, at your house in the...
Yeah, in the Mission.
Oh my
we
God.
had big parties. But,
We
no,
had
my
such
brother's...
different lives.
My brother's was on a hockey rink, because my brother played
Yeah,
semi-professional
that's
hockey.
kind of half the game is fighting.
Yeah.
I was such a doughy fuck. I didn't have any sort of like... I've always had a lot of aggression that I would have loved to take out, but like I've gotten in a lot of verbal arguments that I was always really good at that. I remember getting into a verbal argument with somebody like once a week in high school, and like really quickly learning that I could very easily talk my way out of those things in a way that made them feel like shit after. I was like really good at talking my way into winning a fight.
Internal poisoning is way more damaging.
Oh, dude, it was
someone.
incredible. Because most of the people that I don't even remember what started most of these things, but I remember somebody was like fucking on me, and they were trying to say some shit. And I just remember somebody chiming in and being like, dude, don't fuck with Jamie. He's going to make you feel like shit. And I was like, dude, yes.
Nice. You got some cred.
But that's also not interesting. I think I'd always been good with words in a way.
Yeah.
But I was never the kind of person to like I never got in situations that were rowdy, I guess.
You know, I feel like I'd be afraid to hit somebody just because I've seen so many videos online of like, somebody gets in a fight, like somebody's antagonizing somebody, and then they get socked in the face and just freak accident, like they fall back and like hit their head and get paralyzed or something.
It takes nothing to kill a man.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
And that was my first thought standing over that little kid in middle school, is
Yeah.
like, I could break his skull. And it's like, so yeah, it's not like the movies. You can't just keep getting punched in the mouth and they'll just stand back up
Oh,
and shit,
totally.
like Rocky.
It
Like,
also hurts to punch people.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize that, like, it really hurts. Especially if you get someone's teeth.
yeah. I had never gotten in situations that were that crazy.
I like to think. You ever seen the movie Saint Vincent with Bill Murray and
Oh yeah.
Melissa McCarthy?
So good.
Yeah, so I always try to remember, because in the movie, Bill Murray's trying to teach this kid like how to stand up for himself, and he says that if like a bully's ever on you, you just need to like make a little fist and then like hit him right upside the nose with the bottom of the palm of your hand, and you'll just break his nose. So
Yeah.
I'd like to think that if I got in a fight, I'd just like one and done break his nose or something.
The
But
problem with that is that
I'd miss.
when you do that, you could jam the cartilage into their brain.
damn it!
You have to do it really hard. Like, you have to be like a Marine.
You want to go from the left or right, because then you'll just snap it like that. Because if you go up,
Ugh,
if
yuck.
you go up, you're going to jam that bone into their brain.
That sounds really disgusting.
I always think of the, what was the one with Sandra Bullock? Miss Congeniality.
Oh
That's
yeah.
like, solar plex in step nose growing.
Yeah.
Little thing. I always think about that whenever like somebody's walking behind me too close. I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
I actually think me and my best friend, well, Chase, he's the other guy. Usually he's on the podcast. Not the other guy. He's gonna give me shit for this because the big joke in our last podcast that I was replacing him with Gus. He's like, go with your other friend. But Chase and I have gotten in more physical fights than I have gotten in with anyone.
Didn't you kick him in the balls on a trampoline?
I've fucked him up. He fucked me up, to be fair. But I have unintentionally gotten into fist fights with Chase on multiple occasions. But yeah, on a trampoline one day, we were having a great time. And I don't know what happened, but we were in midair, and I saw that he was in the perfect position for me to grab his head and then just like slam it into my knee. Oof. I don't remember what happened. I think we were just like frustrated at each other because we had hung out too long or something like that. And I just knocked the shit out of him for some reason. And I remember he tried to fight or something, but like because I had more momentum and he was all dazed because of that, I think I was like, "Don't mess with me" or some shit. I was such a fucking asshole.
Was it just like a game, or were you actually mad?
I think it started out as a game and then it turned into like, it's like little kids who are like, "I was playing around and you were serious."
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I used to play this game on a trampoline with my friend Seth. We'd go to his house, and we'd both spend like 5 minutes eating a bunch of sour Skittles, so you build up your spit, and then we'd just be like, we'd always hawk a couple loogies, and have a big pile of just like snot and spit right in the middle of the trampoline, and then we'd fight and try to make each other roll into the pile of spit.
That's the most little boy thing I've ever heard. That's so
game.
funny. I remember one time I was sprinting towards a trampoline, and on my journey to jumping off, we had a trampoline next to my deck, and on my journey to leaping off the deck onto the trampoline, Chase for some reason built up the biggest wad of spit and mucus in his mouth, and just shot it like buckshot right into the side of my head. And so my entire collapse into the trampoline was just in slow motion with me going, "Ugh, gross." But I just remember it being this wad of like Spider-Man web all over my face.
That's disgusting.
It was really fucking gross. I don't know why. I remember being like, "Why? Why'd you do it?" It was like, "I saw an opportunity." I don't know.
I have a question. So we've been doing this thing where I've been like oddly catching 11-11 2 times a day for the last like 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
It's been like amazing.
Well, we've been doing that since we started dating.
Yeah, but you've got a good
like,
streak going.
Yeah.
And so Gus, what are your rules for making a wish at 11-11?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you gotta look, and you need to. Well, what I always do, this is just a little personal touch. I like to think of the wish, close my eyes, and then open it again to like poof, project the wish forward. Nice. But then as soon as it's, I mean, you cannot look at the clock again until it's 11:12. Otherwise, the wish will not come true.
Yes.
And you build up the likelihood of the wish coming true if you don't look at the clock again until the next minute's passed. So like, don't look until it's 11:12. Okay, 11:12, I saw it once. Don't look again. 11:13. Oh, and then you're building up your clock.
Oh, that's really cool.
Until you realize, till it gets to be like 11:27, and you're like, I'm just blinking at my clock.
Every minute on the
so
minute.
it's a waste, but you can't look at the clock till it's 11:12.
I hadn't heard that second part.
Yeah. Do you? What about tunnels?
Tunnels? I don't know about...
So I have this thing where if you're driving through a tunnel, you have to hold your breath all the way through the tunnel and make a wish. And if you can hold your breath all the way through the tunnel, you grant your wish. But then also don't do it while you're driving, because I heard about some idiot kid who did it through like a really long tunnel and like passed out.
Oh my god.
Crashed his car. But yeah, so we have that one, which we always do each.
I always did that with my sisters as a kid too.
There's one with the railroad tracks too, but I forget what that one is.
No, really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I have that
like
one.
You have to like slap the top of your roof. Or no, that's like if you're going through a red light.
Oh. Jeff does that, where our buddy Jeff, where he like, if he goes through a red light and just makes it, he kisses the top of the roof, and that's a wish. It's like you like testing your luck, something like that. Yeah. But like, yeah, I've heard a few different rules for 11:11. Like ours has always been that, where if you make the wish, you see 11:11, you make the wish, close your eyes, and then you open them again, and you cannot look at the clock until it's past 11:11, you know, if it's 11:12 or something like that. But I'd also heard that if you have to make the wish and then look at the clock again, and if it's 11:12 and the wish hasn't come true, you have to see 11:11 twice in order to make the wish come true.
Damn.
I've heard that one, so I don't know what it is. It's nothing really, let's be honest. But it's always funny to me what stuff people come up with.
I also make a wish at 6:45.
Oh.
Because it spells Gus.
That's hilarious.
It's my time. Soon as I walk in, feel like me o'clock.
That's really that's really funny.
I have a strange feeling at 4:23 because that's my birth date
Yeah.
every day. So every time I see that time, I'm like,
Ayo.
that's my time.
I never thought of that. I guess mine would be 6/18, June 18th.
Oh yeah, we have our birthdays are 2 days apart.
Mm-hmm.
Gemini.
What year were you born again?
95.
Shit. Yeah,
I'm a young blood.
we're 5 years out.
Horatia.
I'm gonna like die next year, and you'll be like at my funeral crying. You're like, I guess I won.
Did you ever did you have any stupid injuries as a kid?
Again, I was such a boring shit. I didn't really have very many
Yeah.
like fun stories of like getting, breaking through a window and shit. So I don't know if I have to think about it. I'm not sure though. I don't think so.
I had a stupid one that really hurt, and I just it was miserable. I used to have this. You know those like at Christmas time they have the plastic candy cane tubes that with candy in them. So they're like maybe an inch in diameter. So I was using one of those as like a little dart gun, and I was blowing foam balls like at people, and I was maybe like 8 years old, and I was just running around with that stupid tube of thin plastic, and I was in my backyard, and I remember I put it in my mouth like a trumpet to go, and I was gonna go down our slide with it in my mouth. So I go down the slide and I get to the bottom and my feet like catch and I fell forward and landed and it jammed into the back of my throat.
God. Ooh.
And it hurt so unbelievably badly. Like my mom went in there and shined a flashlight and I had like a red bloody ring where the plastic cut in. So for like a week I could hardly swallowing was so painful, so I could only eat like cold blended foods for like a week.
Shit.
Fruits and stuff.
Oh
Best
my
diet
god.
ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it was disgusting.
Oh, dude. I had I've had a few like weird things like that are like it make you cringe to think about it. Like I was always making shit out of like sticks for some reason, and one part of my process was stripping the sticks and sharpening them. I was like making little daggers and shit. Nobody taught me to carve away from me though, so I was carving towards my hand with my offhand, with my left hand. As a kid I was ambidextrous though. I hadn't figured out which hand I was, so I was carving with my left hand, and it slipped and it jammed into my finger, and you can still see the scar on my thumb.
Yep.
From where it like went right into my thumb. And my parents were having like a group meeting in the living room, and I barged in and just held my disgusting bloody hand up and like just like screaming. It was awful. Everyone's like, okay, everyone panic real quick.
I hate that.
Oh man.
I cut my leg open really bad when I was probably 5 or 6, and I grew up with all boys. It was me and like 13 boy cousins and my brother.
Jesus Christ.
And we used to go to this place in Northern California called Lake Berryessa, and there used to be this really cool gravel hill, and I would always race up and down it. But this summer I had gotten my first pair of jellies.
Jellies.
Oh, they're like the coolest shoes. They're like, it's like a gel, like a clear gel, and they got like sparkles in them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that shit because they would be really gross. Like the girls' shoes were always like a little brown.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they definitely
So
did.
gross.
But they were cool, and I had gotten my first pair, and my dad was like, all right,
Yeah.
don't run up the hill with your cousins in those jellies, because you're going to fall, you're going to cut open your leg, and you're going to scream. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, Dad. Whatever. So my cousins are like, let's race up the hill. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. Watch. Run up the hill. And then we get to start running down the hill, and my shoes just screwed me over. And I just went down the hill, and it was a loose gravel, too.
Oh no.
So I split my leg open, and I get all this gravel in the cut.
Oh god.
And I remember it was on the TV that was the weekend that Princess Diana died. Like that was what the news cycle was on. And I remember my dad like holding me down and like picking this gravel out of my
gross.
leg.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still have gravel in my leg.
That's
you
so
can
Really?
see it
gross.
because I wouldn't let them pull it all out. I was
Yeah.
like, just leave it. It's good.
Oh
it's
my
fine.
God.
It's fine.
Wow.
So I still have like Princess Diana gravel in my leg.
Oh my god,
To
I bet the most
remember.
painful part of that was having to admit to your dad that you were wrong.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
you see
sure.
it? It's like right there.
That's
Oh,
so
wow.
grody.
Isn't that gross?
Can you feel it? No,
Don't
that's
touch
weird.
it. Don't
That's
touch it.
weird.
It's gross.
That's so weird.
It's so gross.
Man, that sucks. I mean, you probably had a worse week than Princess Diana.
Oh, well.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost
I mean, there
guaranteed.
wasn't even paparazzi, so
No,
I just
yeah.
really like.
Yeah.
Well, she probably got a lot of gravel in her leg too from that.
Oh,
incident.
no.
God.
Princess Diana, no.
Rest in peace.
Oh, they should have made a Beanie Baby about you. That's the only thing missing.
Yeah, you can fucking Beanie Baby. That was.
What's the
very nice.
Beanie Babies of right now?
I don't know. Are they still in?
No, but you know what I mean? Like, the Beanie Babies were such a weird phenomenon that,
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah.
everyone was like, this is probably Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin.
That's kind of like the Beanie Babies of
I
2018.
suppose.
Or maybe it was last year.
Can't really decorate your house with that though.
Yeah, it's like some people got rich off of it, but most people got into it thinking they'd get rich and just
I
didn't.
think it's almost collecting likes on Instagram photos. Like that's kind of the thing, like that people are like insane about is
Yeah.
like getting likes. It's not even a physical thing anymore. It's, or well, actually, in France right now there are riots over Nutella being the prices being
Oh,
slashed
yeah.
70%.
I saw
So I guess
that.
Nutella is the Beanie Baby of our time.
Wait, because the prices have been slashed?
Yeah, you can get it for like 70% off in France.
And
And like
there's
people
riots.
are rioting to get their jars of Nutella.
Oh, I thought you were saying they were rioting because they didn't want that. They're like, I want to pay more for this hazelnut spread.
No.
I know my worth.
I also don't like Nutella.
It's all right.
Oh, I love Nutella.
It's all right.
Put that out there.
I'm not gonna eat it out of the jar, like I think people tend to talk about.
Yeah.
I used to do. I'd mix it with peanut butter and put it on crackers, and that'd be a good snack that was more calories than I would need for an entire week.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to take before I could. I didn't have to count calories. I used to like take the little pretzel sticks, the butter spindle ones, and just dip it in Nutella.
That's a
What's
problem.
a butter
So
spindle?
good. It's like a little twisted up hard pretzel, and then there's like a butter coating on it.
Also don't like hard pretzels.
Really?
I like soft pretzels, but hard pretzels.
The little sticks? You don't like the little pretzel sticks? Pretzel rods? Those are delicious. But tons of calories I probably consumed by just doing that.
Yeah.
Back to that Instagram thing though. I remember like so weird last summer, because all of us are to some extent like plugged into online and stuff, you know, in terms of we're kind of marketing ourselves in some degree too.
Trying, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I remember being in an elevator with one of my friends a summer ago, and he was looking at his phone and he goes, ah, "Damn it!" And I was like, "What?" And this is a friend that's like, I mean, he's going to like accounting, so he's not at all like trying to market himself or like gather an online following. I mean, it's just like all the people that follow him on Instagram are his friends. But he goes, ah, damn it. And I said, what's up? He goes, well, my photo's been up for like 3 hours now, so that's typically when I've already gotten most of my likes, and this one only got 93 likes. Like I usually get like 150 at this point in time. And he seemed genuinely disappointed. And I was
Wow.
like, and I would just remember being so taken aback by that. Like, why do you care about that? You
Yeah.
know? Like, I mean, it's one thing, because admittedly, I look at like my posts sometimes and be like, oh, I wish that would have done better and stuff too.
Yeah.
But like, I'm also like business wise trying to market myself and grow my brand, and like,
It's a big part of it.
and I don't even get that disappointed like if that stuff happened. But he seemed genuinely so disappointed because like a photo of himself didn't get 150 likes, and he's going to be an accountant. Like he's not going into that.
Wow.
Like why does that consume people so much?
I can't imagine what it's like to be a 14-year-old girl with an Instagram.
Yeah, man.
Oh gosh.
Like that, I mean, because, I mean, admittedly, like, sometimes, like, I'm like, oh, I didn't get that many likes on this photo. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it feels kind of crappy. And it's so stupid, and I hate that I feel that way, but, like, could you imagine, like, that middle school awkwardness that you had?
Ugh.
And then having yourself be judged online?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I mean, I'm assuming people get bullied for, like, oh, nobody follows your Instagram. You know, like, that's
Oh,
probably a
guaranteed,
thing.
dude.
And, like, ugh. Just don't have kids. Just
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
do it
That
because I don't want
scares
to
the
put them through
shit
the
out of me.
social media like bullying.
Oh, totally. I'm so thankful that my age group was right on the cusp of like a couple years before kids all had like social media and stuff. Like I was probably like a sophomore or junior in high school right when it started becoming the norm that most people had like mostly just like a Twitter account or a Facebook, you know, like no one was even touching Instagram like as I was going through high school. And I'm just so thankful because I never once thought about that growing up. Like you show up to school, that's the little social cross section you get for the day. You go home and you're not following other people and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about that we were probably the last generation to have that
Yeah.
like lack of social media.
I got cyberbullied though, and I had a live journal. That was the big thing when I was in high school, was a live
Okay.
journal. And I remember at one point somebody was leaving really nasty comments on my live journal, and it like really, really broke my heart.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend like trace the IP address, because that was still like a thing that you could do and like figure out like who was actually.
That's still a thing you do.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm really computer dumb.
Was
But-
it your dad that was leaving them?
Yeah, my dad.
Fuck you.
You look dumb in that dress.
So,
Shitty outfit of the day.
but like I was able to trace and figure out like who it was, but like that was at the beginning of it, and like, but that was just me like writing like, dear live journal,
Yeah.
today, Mom didn't put a Lunchable in my lunch.
Wait, was it someone you knew, or was it?
It was.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It was somebody I
That
knew.
sucks.
It did suck, but I've risen above it.
No, I haven't recovered from the bullying I got in high school, online. I remember that first like vicious anonymous comment. I was like, whoa, that's such a weird feeling, because I can't do anything about that. Like, that's just like, that person doesn't like me. I have no control over that, and I can never find out who they are. Like, that was such a weird feeling.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, I that shit was really odd though, that like anonymity started to kick in real early with the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember that, and it was like the thing called Formspring that was out there for like some time
I never did that.
around my last few years of high school, and it was specifically for anonymous messages.
I remember there was this like it was really early bullying days. It was when AIM was a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I got it was like a message or something, and it was like, fill this out to find out if your crush likes you. And it was like asking all of these really personal questions, like who do you have a crush on, what's your biggest secret, blah blah blah, and like you filled it out and you were supposed to hit the send button, and it was supposed to give you like some answer to like who was crushing on you too, blah blah blah. But it actually just sent it back to the person that sent it to you, and they got all of that information.
That's so fucked up.
It was, yeah.
Did you do that?
I did.
Oh fuck.
I did.
Who'd it go
It went to my friend, so like it didn't really matter.
Okay.
Like I didn't get there were any repercussions for like filling it out, but that was going around when I was
That's
like
fucked
in
up.
middle school, and like could you imagine like putting like really sensitive information, like a bully getting that?
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh,
Like that
man.
would have been like so traumatic.
Yeah, I could not raise a kid in this climate like this. I don't know. Like, I'm very happy with a lot of stuff about my childhood. Like, about the whole, like, I spent most of my time just kind of walking around outside or playing video games. And there wasn't really, like, I'm going to go online and explore all of these weird things that I can't quite absorb yet because my brain's not developed enough or whatever, you know. Like, my nephews are just happening upon things that, at their age, they're not going to really get. So it's like, it's interesting. I wonder what is going on in their little heads right now with the way things are. Not that they're little, but yeah, it's boobs. It's boobs. It's all it is.
Virtual boobs.
Yeah, there's a story about that, but I don't want that to go out. It's just funny because like the like for children who are coming up right now, it's hard to know like what's healthy about being online that early and having access to everything.
Having access to everything is so important when it comes to like keeping up in school. They did this really cool video where they took two groups of kids and there was a divider between them, and they were asking them questions, and they had an opportunity to answer the questions. And so for the first round, both of the kids had they gave both the kids I think computers, and then for the second round they took the computers away from one of the group of kids and they just gave them books. And seeing how difficult it was for the kids who didn't have access to the internet to answer these questions and to compete in this thing, it was crazy. So it was like this really interesting thing about like kids who are living in poverty and don't have access to the internet or don't have a computer at home. They're kind of fucking doomed. So the internet is so powerful when it comes to knowledge.
That is a really great way to describe that, because they're fucking doomed.
No, they are, because these kids were like they couldn't answer these questions in time. They couldn't. Could you imagine having to write a 4-page essay without a computer? And like how just because a kid was born into a family that was more wealthy.
I mean, I had to do
this.
that. I remember that very vividly.
Well, yeah, but like in this day, like or just research, like.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just that's why I'm like.
It really
glad
puts you
they
behind.
have access to
so
that.
it's like it's. I feel like there's like a Star Wars quote about like using things for good, not evil. Kind of like, it's like that kind of there has to be a.
It's just funny that on the same device that you can like solve all the biggest problems and misunderstandings in your life is the same place where you can just find videos of people dying casually. Like we were talking about this. Like
Oh, God.
Yeah.
it's so strange. It's like, well, I want to know where oranges come from or whatever, and then it's like you can accidentally happen upon a dude being run over by a train. It's like
Filled with oranges.
it's such a weird environment. The internet is filled with oranges.
The ultimate betrayal.
Oh boy.
I wonder how many deaths occur because of an orange every year.
They got little stringies on them. People probably choke.
That's it. Yeah, that's
Probably.
the one. Because there's that thing about like, here's all the deaths by sharks or whatever, but like there's more deaths by refrigerator than there are by sharks in a year.
Oh yeah.
It's just really funny. Not funny. It's not funny. Rest in peace.
Wow.
Wow. Something is wrong with your moral barometer.
All right, Steve Harvey.
I don't know. The internet's a weird fucking thing, and I'm very curious what kind of, because I think especially because celebrities nowadays are YouTubers.
Yeah.
No offense, but I'm not sure if that's the greatest way the thing to look up to a lot of the time. And I feel like that's why I like one of the things I like the most about you actually is that you're like a good dude. First and
I
foremost.
still wouldn't look up to me too much, but
But you know what I mean? Like you're making shit that you're really passionate about, and you're a good person you're not putting negativity out in the world, and you're not doing anything that's like purely for selfish reasons. So I feel like if people really do look into you and look up to you, it's because, and I know they do, they're getting good shit out of it. Whereas if somebody's looking up to some like Instagram star or something like that, like there's a lot of really self-centered crappy shit going on out there. And it's amazing to me how many kids look up to people like Logan and Jake Paul, who are, they're, God bless them. They're just, I don't think they have the to admire, you know what I mean? Like I would want my nephews imitating what they do in public. It's like it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of aspirations my nephews have as they get older with those kind of mentors, on the internet.
yeah.
But there's also a lot of good people out there. Like you have to, there's good YouTubers.
Oh, of course. I'm not saying that it's the entirety of I mean, there's so many good. That's what I like about like Markiplier and not necessarily a lot of people I work with, but like when Jacksepticeye and stuff. It's like those people are like constantly trying to be good influences on their audience and are doing shit for charity, and
Yeah.
I really admire that about them personally. And I think that that's going to be really good. It's going to create a lot of really great mentalities for kids growing up. But like, yeah, sometimes it feels a little like odd.
But I feel like there's also a lot of anti-bullying stuff on the internet too. I feel like there's been a lot of people who've really stepped up to speak out about like bullying. And I think also, I feel like YouTubers are almost like the drama kids of this generation. Like we were nerds.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of people, and maybe this is like stereotyping it, but it feels like a lot of people who started out on YouTube kind of started out because they were a bit lonelier than other kids.
Yeah, they didn't have anything
And-
outside of the internet to.
Yeah, they made friends on the
Mm-hmm.
on the internet. So I think a lot of them have experience with bullying, and so I think a lot of them have really awesome hearts and are really passionate about like, hey, like just be nice to each other. Maybe like that would be cool.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, I've always felt weird about the concept of bullying being defined, being described with the word bullying. It feels so not serious for such a serious topic. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like,
What word would you prefer?
it's kind of like having bank robbers or like real hardened criminals being represented by the Hamburglar. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a serious thing, but like this is a little too playful for me to take, because the phrase bullying feels just kind of childlike, and it's not. When in reality, bullying by its definition can be really, really dreadfully harmful, and like there's some really disturbing shit that happens when people are bullied. And I've always been like, I don't know if somebody's like getting like really physically harmed and shit. It doesn't feel like it's the right definition to be like, this is bullying, because it's like assault a lot of the time what people are doing.
I like bullying over like, oh, you're being picked on. I always hated
True.
that because it's like that just felt like little kids like stealing your toy.
That's what bullying kind of sounds like to me sometimes, though. The idea of bullying, like being a bully, like
Were
it
you
feels.
bullied, Gus?
I never was.
Were you the bully?
No, I just tried to fly under the radar. I never considered myself being genuinely bullied. I mean, there was one kid that I wouldn't call my bully, but that was just kind of a dick to a lot of people, and sometimes he'd just like tease you in front of others. But I was never targeted or sought out by any of that stuff, because I think it just, for the most part, especially middle school years where you're the most prone to bullying, I feel like I just was kind of nice to everybody, and everyone was like, oh, it's not fun to pick on Gus, you know, like he's not like insecure about stuff, like he's got a kind of quiet confidence, but he doesn't bother anybody. So I was very lucky that I never had that.
Were you really popular in school?
I was maybe by the literal definition popular, in that I got along with all the people. Like I had my foot in a lot of camps. Like I was in a lot of athletic people, so I got along, or in a lot of athletics, so I got along with those people. I was in like theater and music and choir, so I got along with them. I would go to like the after school church youth group thing, so I got along with like them. Like I just was on good terms with everybody. So, you know, I guess maybe I was class president 4 years, but
wow.
I didn't. But I mean, we had class sizes of like 60, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I only got elected because like I talked to everybody, you know. I felt really bad because every year there's this girl, bless her, wonderful girl, super hard worker. I haven't talked to her in years. Wendy is the bomb. She would always like run for class president, and she really wanted to be class president. She like kind of campaigned for it, and I just didn't really. I just wanted to have that dumb line in the yearbook like class president 4 years. So I kept putting my name on the ballot, and then I'd win, and I wouldn't really care as much. But I knew it probably bugged her. But
Yeah, fuck you, Wendy.
sorry, Wendy, and
Hey,
also
nice to Wendy.
You failure.
Bully? Big bully?
I'm not a bully. I'm just calling it like it is.
Wait, you had classes of 60 in high school?
yeah, like
Oh, that's
or 75, I think.
Tiny.
Yeah, they're very minuscule. And now I feel bad because it's like, especially in my grade, I maybe genuinely had one friend in my grade. I had a ton of friends in the grade above me and a ton below me, but my grade just didn't mesh with people. And now I'm on the hook for setting up the class reunion.
Oh, fuck.
Wendy, if you're listening, you better pick up the slack on that, because I'm not doing that. I love you guys, but I have no drive to do that. Somebody else figure it out.
Oh, my God.
I got invited to a class reunion last year and like on Facebook, and I immediately like unfollowed the group. I was like,
Yeah.
nope.
I have no interest in beside my friend Joe, love you Joe, and my friend Austin, who was roommates with me in college. Besides that, I have no interest in ever reconnecting with anybody that I grew up with. Like, I didn't have bad experiences with them, but it just was like nobody really kind of cared about each other within our grade, which was really unfortunate.
And I feel like you keep in touch with the people that you want to keep in touch with, and it feels like high school reunions are almost like, hey, look at what I've done. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go into that pissing match thing with these people. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you. I genuinely got along with virtually everybody in my grade. Like, I wish them the best. There's nothing for me to reconnect with these people. They didn't have a significant impact on my life. You know, I think everybody kind of helps form who you are, but it's not like these are my old friends or anything. Like,
yeah.
I like to spend time with people that are really special to me, and I love these guys. I'm thankful that they were in my life. I don't want to go back and,
Yeah.
oh, what are you doing? Oh, this is what I'm doing.
Over the holidays, Jamie was in Northern California with me, and I went to Costco with my parents and left Jamie at home. This is like the one time I left him at home.
Yeah.
And I drove to Costco.
She's usually got to keep a close eye on me.
Yeah.
So I'll start chewing on
we
things.
we usually do everything together, you
Right.
know. But you stayed at home. I think you were working out or something like that. And we go to Costco and we walk in, and I immediately run into my high school bully, and I was like, I turned back into that like awkward 15-year-old again, and I was just like, oh my god, like, I can't do it. My mom's like, what's going on? I'm like, did you see?
There she is.
Yeah.
She was so mean to me. My mom's like, get over yourself. Stand up straight. Be proud of who you are. And I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go eat lunch in the bathroom and cry.
Oh,
and,
no.
I get that, though. I totally understand that. Like, you can't shake that.
No.
No, we were talking about this the other day because we were listening to some old music I wrote when I was going through a weird time, and like I listened to it again and was like, I'm back there. Like that feeling of like that. It's so weird. Like your feelings like a time capsule like that, because that's such a unique time period to feel that way.
I think that like because those emotions come at such formative years for you too. Like still to this day, that kid I was telling you about before, who was like, I mean, growing up, like I wasn't afraid of him, but like if he came in, I'd be like, I don't want to, like, please don't pick on me, you know, pick on somebody else. And like it was like a year ago, I went back home and I was just visiting, and and I was hanging out with some people, like some camp friends, family friends and stuff, and this kid came in because he's like related to one of my friends, and he came in and like, and I mean I feel like I've grown so much and achieved a lot of the goals that I wanted for myself in the last few years. So like I'm very confident in myself as a person, but this kid comes in and right away it was immediately like, oh shit, like don't come talk to me, and I'm like, well, fuck this guy. Like, what the hell is he doing? Like, I'm happy with myself. He has no bearing on my life, but still, he comes right in, and you're just like, oh
yeah,
God.
everything I've accomplished just like went away, and I was just this girl that like got rumors spread about me in high school again, and I was like, oh man.
I mean, it's like, it's totally it. Like, you revert back to that, and it's like, this guy's got no bearing on my life whatsoever, and not to judge other people, but like it didn't seem like he really went for anything or amounted to much, but it's still like he had that power over me mentally in that moment, and I'm just like, why am I letting that bother me?
It's so crazy how stuff in such a comparatively short period of time could affect the rest of your life.
I think it has to do with the part of your brain that's undeveloped and developing at that point.
Yeah. There's such visceral things. We were talking about this in a way when we were talking about video games we played, and like Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah.
Like, we were both nuts about that, and I bought that a couple years ago, and really not a great game, but because of the time period I was in, and like I was so tuned in to that, and I was just enjoying it blindly without, I wasn't looking at it like, is this good or bad? I was just having a fucking great time with my friends or whatever, and that was what was defining how good that game was. And it's like that's a really cool thing, I think, with that time period also, is that not only are you really you're really sensitive to like the negative shit, but like the positive stuff is so powerful because it's the first time you're really experiencing that stuff, and that part of your brain is being lit up for the very first time. It's a really important time period for positive shit too. So it's I'm very curious about that with this new generation of kids too, because like my nephews are very glued to their devices and shit, and I'm wondering what kind of new experiences they're really getting out of that. It's like I want them
Butts.
to. I mean, honestly, yeah, get some good butts out there.
Hey.
But like I want them to like go and experience shit outside of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is like a. Like an old dude.
Get
like,
off my lawn.
You can't play these idiot boxes. You have to go outside and meet people.
Find your own
That
butts.
was like, growing up, I wasn't allowed to play video games because my dad said it would turn me into a idiot.
It's so,
Ooh,
it's
that's
so
a good
funny.
dad line.
So I wasn't allowed to play video games.
To be
and
fair,
then
I am
met
an idiot.
But yeah, you introduced me to video games. That was like, after I was like, oh, I should probably understand the industry that I work in.
Yeah.
And it opened up a whole new thing. But I mean, for me, like you, I grew up in a very sports, athletic based house. Like, it was like we were always doing sports, and so we didn't have time for screens and stuff.
Yeah, I wish that I had more. I was just such a chubby fuck. I could not handle sports. And just like the idea of physical activity was really stressful for me. So I just like, my sports were, how fast can I eat this Chick-fil-A sandwich and the 12-piece chicken nugget that I also got with it.
It does sound like a fun sport,
though. It was pretty good. I was very good at it.
I'll make you a ketchup trophy later.
I just hated like racing. Oh, speaking of racing, our cat is losing it right now in his sleep.
Sleep dream.
Toilet. Yeah, we're not in a car this time. We're in our in a living room. It was a nice change up. Although that was actually, that's kind of a neat thing. Wouldn't mind
dangerous.
Doing more like location based.
Yeah.
Because I think there's something really interesting about driving in a car that kind of opens conversation up in a way that's very different from just sitting in a living room or something. I don't know what that is. I guess it's just because you're going from A to B and your brain's kind of focused on one thing, so you're free to open up and talk about other shit.
We should do some Let's Plays while we're driving next time.
No,
probably.
No, let's not.
Yeah. Do Let's Play Car Crash.
I like you guys
that.
alive.
Nah.
Let's play some COD World War II. I mean,
just make the steering wheel a PlayStation controller.
on the GPS.
Yeah.
Have that be the screen.
We saw someone who hacked their car and plugged in their NES so they could play on their
that's a good
screen
idea.
at work. Don't do that while you're driving, please.
I mean, I don't think that you've stopped anyone from attempting to do that if they were indeed trying to.
I know, but I feel like if I mention it, I also have to mention like what a terrible idea it is to do that while driving.
That's true.
Otherwise, I'll feel guilty if someone does it. And
I doubt it. And be like, Mimi didn't warn me that this was a bad idea.
Oh no!
Nobody told me I shouldn't do it.
Had I known.
You know, some people don't think.
Not me, I think.
What's so like Chase and I have this thing where we talk about what we were into in the last week or so or something.
Yeah.
So is there anyone that you found on YouTube or any sort of show or music or like what are you into right now?
I actually recently was curious. I mentioned this to you a little bit last night. I was curious about Lil Peep.
You Googled horse porn.
I did
and...
Google horse porn. Lil Peep was the first result. No, just kidding. Rest in peace, Lil Peep. Because I was watching some old H3 podcast and Post Malone was talking about Lil Peep, so I was like, oh, I'll check out some of his music. And I was actually like, I gotta say, I judged the guy before I listened to the music. You know, this extremely tatted up kid with dyed pink hair, and like, I was like, I probably won't like this. And I was like, kind of like some of this music. So check out Lil Peep, especially the song "Save That Shit."
I need to get into it because I listened to a little bit after I heard about the news of him passing, and like I found some stuff that I wasn't really crazy about, and I was like, I don't know if this is changing the face of music, but that song you showed me last night, I was like, fucking A, man,
stuff.
It's good.
What else? I'm not playing any video. Well, actually, Eddie recently got me kind of into Battlefield 4. I've never played Battlefield before, so that's a lot of fun. I haven't seen any crazy movies lately. I watched 47 Meters Down, which is that kind of shark cage movie with Mandy Moore. It was pretty average.
What's we talk about this, like what's the best thing that you've seen in general? Like if you could watch something, if you could watch one thing the rest of your life.
Ooh, well, if I could only watch one movie for the rest of my life, I would choose The Truman Show.
Oh yeah.
I just love it, and I'm excited to watch it every time, and it's happy, it's sad, it's exciting. If I could, one thing is like, do you ever experience something so cool that you wish you could see it again for the first time?
Dude, yes.
I would give anything to watch The Shining again for the first time. I love that so much.
I watched that for the first time with you a few years ago. Yeah, that's.
Did you like it because it scared you, or did you like it because it was?
It was just so. It was suspenseful. I genuinely was like, because I never read the book, or I never really knew anything about the story. I just knew it was a huge classic, and I watched it in like this tiny dorm room with my girlfriend at the time, and this tiny TV, and I was just glued to it. And it was a feeling I had never gotten from a movie before, of like that tense and suspense and confusion as to what's going on, and I was just so sucked into that world. And oh man, I mean, it's still fun to go back and watch, but I wish I could do that again for the first time.
Yeah, there's I think that's like the mark of a really good film. If you can watch it on a tiny screen, and it's still, as we were talking about that with like being on an airplane, if you can like, that's because we both saw somebody on a flight that watched Dunkirk on that shit, and it's like,
what are you doing?
I don't know if that's the best way to watch that movie, and I just don't know if it'd be any good on an airplane. But like because I found my favorite movie of all time last year, and it's called Your Name, and it's so fucking good, and I watched it on the plane ride back from Georgia with you, and I was like sobbing the whole way.
Why are you crying?
I was the whole way
together,
home.
McCune.
I was just a puddle the entire. I fucking loved that movie, and I've watched it 4 times since, and it's like I watched it once with you, and I don't think it
was a really good film.
but it was just like, for me, like that movie like really hit me for some reason. But yeah, seeing it on a plane did not spoil it in any way. It was so fucking good.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll put that on the background if I need something in the background. There's nothing on YouTube or anything. I fucking love that movie. That'd be my answer probably.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Selena.
Selena.
For sure.
Selena.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, because I think that was she was such an important person in my life when I was little. And it just, I mean, I get excited to watch that movie every time I watch it, at least 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
You know?
It makes me happy watching it with you too, because you love it so much.
I love it. I know every word to it, I think.
Yeah.
I just love it so much.
That's how I am with the first Harry Potter, first Pirates of the Caribbean, and the second Lord of the Rings film. Those are good choices. Those are, and then The Matrix is that way too.
I really wish that I could play The Last of Us again for the first time.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. That and BioShock.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah,
We shredded over this the other day, but like, it's so fucking good. Some things are just so like important. Like they're just so such visionary pieces. It's really cool.
Oh, also, I've been super into audiobooks lately. That's been my big thing, and I've been reading or listening to, basically reverting back to being 5 and having someone read a book to me, but reading books by B.A. Paris, and the narrator Georgia McGuire is amazing.
So good.
And I wish I could listen to both of those books for the first time again because they were so like gripping.
Yeah.
Really dark. I love dark shit.
Is that your stuff that your recommendation for what you're into?
Yeah. I would say audiobooks. You can get a free trial of Audible, I think, for like 30 days.
We're not sponsored, but it's a good fucking
No,
Coupon code.
but like,
Gus.
Oh yeah, well you are right.
No,
Like,
not by Audible.
Would that work all the time?
Not by Audible.
but like, it's a really, I mean, who doesn't like free things? And also like, just a good way to absorb, like for car rides and stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
I would recommend audiobooks. Get some.
Just in general, the genre of audiobooks.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the same week that me and Chase recorded. Like, it's 2 days after me and Chase recorded the last thing, so I think I've already talked about it. But End of the Fucking World on Netflix.
You did not like it at first. You had a hard
Atypical.
time getting into that.
Well, there's certain things that are I could tell from the get-go that this was quality shit. Like, I could see that it was good, but it was just such
Too dark for you.
There's just something about it that made me feel bad. Like, I just didn't feel good watching it. That's how I was with Ozark too.
Oh yeah.
Ozark didn't make me feel good. I think there's a part of me that gets frustrated with entertainment that's not happy or like doesn't make me feel good, because it's like that's the whole point, is to distract myself from real life. And I think sometimes stuff that's really dark is too close to reality, and it's just such a sad world sometimes that I just want to feel good.
I just like really interesting stories. Do you like dark stuff? Does it?
I do too, because I love Ozark
I
and
do like
End of
dark
the Fucking
stuff.
World.
But do you prefer comedy or?
I guess, yeah.
I prefer heightened shit like adventure or action or something like that, or mostly adventure, science fiction, and adventure shit. So
Those
like,
are my least favorites.
yeah, we don't have anything in common.
Nope.
But like I love Ozark and Into the Fucking World, and the Dark.
Dark was good.
Dark was fucking great, but all of those things I would watch it and just feel worse about the world, and it was not like fun sometimes to feel that way. But
Have you seen Dark?
No.
It's basically bad people do Stranger Things.
Okay.
it's really fucking good. But yeah, like Stranger Things is right up my alley. Like that's the kind of shit that I'm all about. Like fantasy, you know.
Yeah, but I also liked the real dark element in it, like watching like Winona's journey, like losing her kid and like getting her kid back and like having that like struggle.
I love that. Stranger Things is probably one of my like favorite things that I've seen in the last like 10 years. That's a big question though. What would be yours, like the last 10 years? What
Best thing I've seen?
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, honestly.
Oh,
Such
fuck
a
yeah.
cut and paste answer, but like, damn, that made such a significant impact on my media choices and on my life, and I loved the experience of watching that. That's something I wish I could watch again for the first time, actually.
Yeah,
If I could choose
same.
anything, I would pick that over anything now that I think about it.
That's easily the pinnacle of storytelling on television in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a very good answer. There's a lot of shit like that I feel like is that quality of you know it was really of its time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is probably one of mine too, if I could rewatch it for the first time.
Yeah.
I feel that way about some shows that I feel like a lot of people don't like though. Like I'm that way with the show that was on the BBC called Merlin. And I think a lot of people didn't like it, but for some reason, I have just always been so attached to King Arthur and Merlin and like all that shit that's my favorite. That's my favorite story is King Arthur and Merlin and shit. And that show is probably not anyone's favorite show, but that was my favorite show for the years I was watching it, and I fucking loved it. I felt so happy watching that shit.
That's really cool.
But I like that stuff. Like I have friends who just love what they love, and they don't give a fuck about what people think about their choices. And I can sometimes get caught up in like, well, the rest of the world thinks this is like a 60 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, so maybe I'm weird for liking it. But I don't know, just like what you like, and that's my like. Maybe I'm a little embarrassed to love it so much, but that made me so fucking happy watching that show.
That's a good thesis, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit like that. I feel like it's hard. Sometimes I feel like weird for liking certain things, but
Yeah, you like what you like.
mm-hmm.
And I'd like to keep talking, but I should probably hop in the
I was
shower
gonna
here
say,
pretty quick.
I think we're wrapping things up. Goose, thanks for hanging out. Mimi, thank you
Yeah.
for talking out loud.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Thanks for joining us. If you're still around, folks, we're gonna try and do more of these. So come join us at the end of every week sometime. Thanks. Have a good day. Don't have an outro. Goodbye.